You know it's going to be an interesting video when you have no idea what's about to happen. I was on the lookout for some decent replacement cutters for the Leatherman. Ever since they changed them and made their little adjustments, not necessarily good adjustments, I've been looking for an option, and I actually found some. And these are handmade in Poland. I got 10 sets. I even got a set for Gerber as well. And I'm pretty excited to test them, but I figured, why don't we just actually test a bunch of different type of cutters and just see what happens. You know, we have on the table the infamous hanger, but we're also going to scale it up and do some nails, and we might even try it on a screw. Let's go ahead and get started. So I think we need to start with a recap of what's happened so far relating to the cutters on Leatherman Multitools. When I got my Leatherman Arc, I never noticed that the cutters had changed. I had then seen a video where someone broke their cutters live on camera, and I immediately tested the same material, which was a coat hanger, and broke mine as well. Now, it came to be that they had a batch that was badly heat treated and so on. But what also was discovered in that is that they've changed out the cutters to these, and you'll notice this huge gap at the very bottom. Now, I haven't done anything with this tool. This is the way it came, okay? Now, I did test it on the coat hanger, and it didn't have any issues. It didn't break, and that's good. But we still have incomplete cuts when we use it down at the bottom. And if you have a wider material, it's going to create incomplete cuts as well, let's say zip ties or something along those lines. If you look at the older design, it's pretty straightforward. You just close it, and there's basically no gap there. You're good to go. So, they downgraded the cutters a second time. The first time, they went from 154 cm down to what they called premium steel, which basically had the same shape, just different material, less expensive material. And then they did it again, and I don't know what the material is this time, but I do know that the shape of it is a lot worse. So it led me to try to figure out, okay, what could we do? Where could we find replacements? And I saw a friend on Instagram who lives in Poland and uses tools harder than almost anyone I know. And he was showing the Leatherman Arc, like cutting a nail, like completely clean. And I'm like, where did you get those cutters? And he told me that this is actually made in Poland and that this gentleman is making these out of speed steel, 65 HRC, and then grinding them by hand. So he has them wire EDM cut, which you can see the little cut in line, and then he finishes it by hand, or he might do the edge first and then they do the wire EDM. But regardless, this is 65 HRC in speed steel. That is a far cry better than any cutters that we've seen, including the 154 cm, assuming that they can perform. And after seeing what I saw on Instagram, I think they clearly perform. So what we're going to quickly do is kind of demonstrate with some of the issues that we're having. So if I put this all the way down, now obviously if I go a little bit higher, like right there, it will certainly cut that no problem. If I go down lower, all the way to the bottom, you get an incomplete cut. Now if I take a standard pair from back before, if I put it all the way down, just put it a little bit next to it, absolutely no problem whatsoever, and I've never had a cutter break on me, honestly. Like, not at all. And it was also true with the older style that had the hardwire cutters. Like, I've never had an issue with these either, even after repeated use. Like, it didn't really deform. As long as you used the hardwire in the hardwire section, it was fine. It worked okay. That's kind of where we're sitting, right? Now, Gerber also has its own problem. Now the carbide cutters that they use, they're not the best. In fact, holy crap. So that perfectly demonstrates the problem. You notice, look at that. I can't believe we did it on camera again. So these are the standard cutters you will get with Gerber, and look at how quickly that shattered. That took basically no effort at all. If you accidentally drop this down to the bottom and put it right there, it can't handle it and it shatters. Nice. I didn't think, see, I told you I didn't know what was going to happen. Now, if you get the USA made speed steel cutters, check this out. Now, all they have to do, here's what's funny. These are the same price. These cutters are the same price as the ones you will buy on Gerber, pretty close, not including shipping, obviously. And these are made by J.R. Arthur. I can't remember the exact name, but I talked about this in the past. I believe they're back in stock. And this is an example of exactly why the cutters are a problem. Okay? That's just coat hanger. That's not that tough, guys. But let me show you. We're going to take it up a notch. We just saw that standard carbide cutters from Gerber, they're garbage. Because they have 3 edges, but the moment you break one, you basically break them all because it's carbide and it shatters. Keep in mind, not only can you find the ones in America, but he also included ones from Speed Steel that he makes. They may have a different relief edge. So the only difference that I see is that these ones here, not only are they a little bit more expensive, they're only sharpened to one side. You may not need them to ever be sharpened again anyway. The ones I'm using here are 7-degree relief edge on 3 sides, so you can rotate it if you do in fact ding the edge, and you probably never need another set. So I don't know if the Gerber ones make as much sense, but he has the EOD style cutters, which is awesome, and he has the regular style. So we have those here, so these are a brand new pair. Check that out. Nice, nice, nice. And no, the rust does not matter. That's pretty normal with Speed Steel. And if you're using them, you won't notice any problems anyway. So really good, nice finish, good edge. Let's go ahead and install them and make sure they actually work. We'll put them on the arc. And then we'll test them out. See how they go. And we're going to go pretty hard on these. We're going to go all the way up to, actually, hold on a second. I haven't, you know what? I changed my mind. I have another idea. Hold on a second. So we have, this is a Surge. This is an older Surge, so it's got the original cutters. Nice and smooth. Everything was good about the older styles. Let me go ahead and take this off. We'll leave the ones that are in the arc because maybe those will break under more pressure. So we want to see if that will happen. This is just a T8 Torx. Okay, there we go. And we'll make sure they actually fit inside. Pretty straightforward. I don't think it's going to be very complicated. Nice and tight. Screw there. Cutter there. And the cut in that you see, like that little hole, that little line, it's irrelevant for this. Like, it doesn't matter. It's on the other side. It's not going to receive any pressure, so we're perfectly fine. I mean, you can't even see it when the screw's installed, in fact. How do they pass? They pass really nice. Let's go ahead and test the coat hanger, although I don't think that's going to be an issue. Ooh, actually less pressure. Hold on a second. Actually, this is a little bit less pressure, but I don't really care that much. It's not too bad. Here's what we're going to do, though. We're going up to an 8D nail. It can go higher than this, but we're going to try this, and this is definitely going to be tougher. Oh, God. Am I going to be able to... Oh. Holy crap. Okay, well, I was able to do it, but it did require both hands. No problems and no issues. Not that I can see. Let's take a look. Get a little closer. Nope. Same thing. Nope, we're good. All right, cool. Cool, cool, cool. So that held up, but I have a strong feeling right now something is going to break. After seeing that, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this thing. This might be a bit much. This might be a bit much. Something is giving, but I don't understand what it is. Okay, maybe the arc is a bad call. Well, I was able to cut it. It does take 2 cuts, but it did cut it. That's good. That required... It's weird. It's not fully cutting... Oh, well, I mean, obviously. But let me go up a little higher. Let me just test it up a little higher. Here we go. Right there. Weirdly enough, that was easier to cut by a pretty strong margin. Like, that was actually not bad at all. And this is the crappy one, so we'll do that one more time. Yeah, that was actually easier. What am I doing? Am I doing it wrong, maybe? me try this again. I'm gonna keep launching the nails, so I don't know where they are. You know, it's probably the thickness of that relief edge. Interesting. Wonder how, let me take a look. Yeah, you see this is a little thinner where there's hardwire cutters than this one. This has a flatter edge right here, so it requires more force. Now, maybe it's something to do with the leverage of this surge. Let me go ahead and change these out. I'm already quite happy that these didn't break. And let's see how they perform with the replacement cutters. So it's just swapped out the cutters. So these are the new ones from Poland. Come together very nice. There's actually no light coming through at all. Well done. Yeah, well done. Okay, so let's try this again. And let's see how it performs, because maybe it has something to do with the surge. Okay, it definitely worked, and it was definitely easier. Like, not a little bit. Like, that was, it took a little bit for me to do it with two hands, but by comparison, that was significantly easier. It's definitely bending it. I don't understand. Why is that easier than the surge, of all things? So strange. Here, I keep launching this thing all over the place. Ugh. Let me try the Super Tool 300 with the generic cutters. Oh, that was way easier. Okay, what is up with this? Is something not working right with this surge? Because it took so much pressure. No, they look all basically the same thickness. What I'm looking at is how thick that area is there. I cannot figure out why this takes so much more effort. It shouldn't feel like that. Like, for whatever reason, I'm having a hard time. It could just be this particular pair of plier head. I don't know what's up. I have no idea why that's the case. But the fact that it's so much easier when installed on the arc, there's no easy conclusion here. There's no easy conclusion of why. And let me try this. That actually was probably the easiest of the bunch, believe it or not, on these standard cutters. Yeah, that actually was not bad at all. Like, because they're a little bit sharper, but they're more likely to damage over time than the ones that we got from Poland. What an interesting combination. Okay, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to install the cutters from Poland on the Gerber, which we broke earlier in this video. Yeah, let's go ahead and try that. All right, so I went ahead and I installed them on the black center drive here. So we're going to take a look at that. And I think I installed them correctly with the black side in, so maybe I did that wrong, but we'll see. Let's start with the coat hanger. Yeah, I don't feel any resistance really, not that much at all. You know, it's weird. Everyone thinks there's play. There's not play in the plier head. It's the play between the handles so that things can actually slide. But no, the plier head actually is pretty solid. All right, so let's try a nail with that as well. You know, it's having trouble with that a lot. I cannot get that to cut. I cannot get that to cut. Interesting. Let me try the ones from... I can't get it to do that either. You know, it appears what's happening, I can tell you what's happening. See the angle on these cutters? It brings it to a narrower profile. The ones on the Gerber, they stand very, very much like almost straight with each other. There's not enough, they kind of need more of a relief. It doesn't matter which ones you go with. For Gerber, they're going to hold up. They probably won't cut through it though, just because of that edge. So I'm wondering if in the future he could do like an 11-degree relief edge or something along those lines. Something with a little bit more, just a little bit more angle. But overall, I mean, these don't break, obviously, and they're still way better than these POS carbide cutters that they ship with their tools. What an interesting video. I will put a link to where you can buy these on eBay. Pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with it. And the cool thing is I think hopefully this feedback will be useful to him as well, because the cutters that I'm getting that are in here that are made in America, they are not actually designed for the Gerber. They just happen to work. So if the guy in Poland can make a different relief edge that cuts a little bit cleaner, that would be unique, right? We wouldn't have, there's no current availability for something like that. So that is something I think you can look into, but I'm pretty happy with these replacement cutters for the Leatherman Multitools. Like, these are pretty solid. I like these a lot. But it is also very strange. I got to figure out why. That surge, for whatever reason, is not working very well. That's strange, right? Like, that's really weird. All right, I guess since we're here, we'll push it over the edge. Let's try it. I don't think I'll be able to have enough pressure to cut this in half. This is hardened, but we'll give it a shot anyway. I might break the plier head, to be honest. No, there's not a chance. I'm not even feeling a little bit of give. I take it back. We're not going to try that. I don't have the hand strength. There's almost guaranteed I'd have to like put something around those handles to collapse them. So that's not going to happen. You'd be better off just cutting it with a saw. All right, very interesting video. Hopefully it was a little bit enlightening. I mean, I didn't think that the carbide cutters would break that easy on the Gerber, but there you go. In fact, in the last video, I think it survived it, so there you go. I think what happened is, you notice that the little spot that's for the hardwire isn't at the very bottom. I bet you when I put it in, it was resting against that top section right there, and so instead of clipping it right in that little groove, it shattered, which honestly, that's a pretty realistic thing to have happen to you, because if you're moving quickly, you're doing stuff, and you just put it in a little bit too far, it cracks. I mean, come on. It's pretty weak sauce, you know what I mean? Anyway, very cool video. I'm definitely looking forward to replacing these on a lot of tools. And here's an important thing. Whether it's the speed steel cutters that you get American-made like this one, or these from Poland, they're probably going to outlive your multi-tool. They're almost surely going to live longer than the plier head. So you just take them and you put them on the next tool, because they're basically going to last for, you know, a really, really long time. As always, thank you for your time, and we'll talk again soon.